Hi, I'm Joyeux and welcome to Joyeux's Life Coaching channel. I'm doing a Hallmark review of Hallmark Christmas movies, and today's is Joyeux Noel. I am reviewing these movies because I love this season and Hallmark movies, and I'll do a quick summary. Then I'll talk about some of the issues or dilemmas the main characters have from a life coaching perspective, and then give my final rating. So here we go. Summary: we have Leah and Mark who work at the Post. I'm assuming it's in New York or Washington. I don't think they really ever said exactly. But Leah is a copywriter and Mark is a journalist. He's known for being Moody Mark, which is a nickname he started and gave himself because he just wanted to be left alone, do his journalism thing, and he's not so much a Christmas spirit person, so he's kind of the grumpy person in the movie. Leah, she has a romanticized, romantic idea about how she will meet her significant other, based on how her parents met, which is a story that I believe that she has kept running in her mind from when she was really young. She's the oldest, I believe, of 5 kids. And her parents, she remembers them being so in love and so romantic, and wants to meet her significant other, you know, in the most dreamy, idealistic way. And she holds on to this idea of what she believes her parents had, and her father had passed away, I think, when she was a little younger, maybe 9, when she was a kid. So she has this sort of fantasy idea of what her dad was like and what he is. And her mom, you know, doesn't deny that. She says, yes, he was all these wonderful things and stuff like that to her. So she really holds on to that. So here's where they go on their adventure. The head editor, the person who decides all these things that go into their publication, says we need a big story, so we need to have some really good ideas. We need something that's going to have heart and all this stuff. And it just so happened that Leah came across a little diary in an antique jewelry box that she found at a store antiquing that she wanted to have. And so when she bought it, there was a little secret compartment and it had some missing pages in it, but all along detailing this romance of this man and this girl that he met in this little town in France, and all the things they did each day when they were there together. So the last 2 pages were gone, and so no one really knows how it ends. And so Leah sort of proposes that as they go through this town and they go to France, they try and figure out if they can find this couple, because she's assuming they've gotten married, it was their perfect romance. And she says, great, wonderful, we're gonna send Mark on it. And then she's like, well, it's my story, I came up with it. And she says, I want to go. And so her dream is also to become a journalist one day, so she definitely wants in on this story. And he says, the editor says yes. So they go to France, to this little town. I am not going to even try to say these French names and words because I did not take French. I took Spanish, so I do not know the words. I was even nervous saying the title of this movie because I do not know French. Anyway, they go to this little town, and Leah just is in love with it from the beginning. The moment there's an accordion player sitting out in the town square, and she's looking at all of the Christmas decorations up in this little town, and they're all loving it. And Mark's just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do my research on the internet. You're so green, you want to go through each page and do whatever they did. Well, it turns out they hit some dead ends, so finally they said, okay, let's try it. Let's reenact what they did each day. And so they went through and did the first day where they sit in front of the town Christmas tree and they did a little dip and a dance. And they start getting clues of how their trail of what they did, right? But at the end, when they get to the last trail, they find out that, oh, they didn't meet. The last piece of paper is they never met up at the end, and Mark was sad to tell Leia, and he kind of kept it a bit of a secret and just tried to throw her off the trail, and so she felt betrayed when she found out the truth. And she had to decide, you know, whether or not she wanted to continue to look regardless, or what to do. And he felt really bad, and also admitted that this has been some of the best times that he's had spending with her, which was really nice because he enjoyed the time and the activities they did, and they were really starting to connect. And at the end of it, of course, they came together and they ended up together. And even though the man in the journal didn't find his happy ending with that woman, they actually did find him in the town, and he was the accordion player. And when they showed him the jewelry box and the journal, he said, yes, that's mine. And it turned out he found someone else and married her, and his grandkids and his kids were still living in that town. So it was just a different twist in the ending than what Leia had expected and wanted to tell for her journalistic debut story with Mark. It wasn't the perfect ending, but the theme was that it was real. And then Leia calls her mom, and her mom says, you know, I think I may have misled you a little bit. You know, I just go along and agree with you about how romantic everything was with your dad, but we had our problems too, just like any couple. Like, you just gotta be open to what's real. And so she stopped fantasizing and realized Mark is right in front of me, and decided to give him a chance. So that is the summary. Let's talk about some of what possible life coaching issues in the story. Mark needed to overcome a bad relationship. He said he had been involved with someone one time, and it didn't end up the way, of course, they wanted to. They ended up breaking up, and he was really hurt by that. And so he just focused on his work, and he wasn't really sure that he wanted to, you know, start another relationship or anything like that. So he had that to overcome, and I think he did by doing all those things with Leia and being open to it and participating with her and giving it all a chance. And it was like an automatic romantic little journal book, sort of how to do everything. And when he finally sort of went with the flow, he got to really enjoy himself, and you see that when he's with Leia. Leia obviously had to overcome the fantasy of finding Mr. Right, and that Mr. Right doesn't really exist, and that he can be someone right in front of her. And she does that by, you know, giving Mark a chance after she talks to her mom, and her mom says, you need to go for what's real. And she realizes that about herself, and she says, you're right, I have to go for what's real, just like in the figuring out of the journal. It wasn't what I thought it would be or what I expected, but it turned out to be real, and what's real is even better. So that was nice. The things in this story, I mean, it was more not so much about their dilemmas as much as it was about the mystery and what was going on with the journal. So that is what kept the story exciting. What is going on with this journal, and what is going on with the clues? And so it was different in that way, and I kind of liked that. Made it a little bit more exciting. There were some times though where it seemed to kind of slump and be a little slow, and I kind of wanted to, okay, move a little faster. There was one thing that really bothered me, and I have to say this just as, if you don't know this about me, I used to ballroom dance competitively. So when Mark's character said he took ballroom dance lessons and then did the opposite hand hold for the woman, it drove me nuts, and he did it every single time. Every time he danced with Leia, he did it wrong every single time. I wish they would have had him do it correctly. That's the only thing that really bugged me. But Leia is so cute and so wonderful, and her enthusiasm and her joy for going on the mystery and going on the hunt, it was wonderful to see. And I think that's what Mark loved about her too. And so there were some slow moments, and it was interesting taking place in France. Overall, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I did like it. It was nice. I don't know that I would watch it again, but I liked it. It was entertaining enough. A little bit more in the serious tone, not so silly and quirky like Mystic Christmas or Where Are You Christmas. A little bit more even toned, but still interesting. So if you like this review, hit subscribe. There'll be more reviews to come, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.